Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, then turn that notification button on right now.
Over the years, the WWE has slowly but surely been working on an agenda related to equality in the company between men and women. While they have made more progress over the last couple of years, there is still an enormous amount that is left to be achieved. While it's not easy for women in the world, the women in WWE have come forward in leaps and bounds, achieving all they can. Over the last 2 years, WWE have seen women wrestling main events on Raw and SmackDown Live as well as pay-per-view events. They've taken part in their own special stipulation matches, with them competing in Hell in a Cell matches and Elimination Chambers as well. They have also taken part in the very first Women's Royal Rumble, as well as a Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Despite all the development that the women's roster has seen take place, there is one aspect, however, where they are lagging behind the men, and that is equal pay. My name is John, and in this list we will be speaking about the 10 highest paid women wrestlers of 2018. The newest addition to this list, Asuka 2 earns the same as the number 10 and 9 spots on this list at $250,000 a year. The Empress of Tomorrow recently lost to Charlotte Flair in what became her first ever defeat in WWE when the two women faced off against each other at WrestleMania. Asuka had a massive streak of wins ever since debuting on the NXT roster and even crossed the record of Goldberg from his WCW days of 173 straight victories. Though Asuka has now made the jump to SmackDown Live, it has opened up a large number of possibilities for her to feud with, although it is only a matter of time until Charlotte and Asuka find themselves squaring off against each other once again. One of the most prominent wrestlers and most accomplished in the ring is Sasha Banks. She was one half of many of the pioneering matches in women's wrestling alongside Charlotte, which really saw WWE women breaking glass ceilings and breaking through to make their own mark. Be it in Hell in a Cell, the Royal Rumble, or the Battle Royal, the Elimination Chamber, she was a part of each of these matches. She's won the Raw Women's title a total of 4 times, but each time has failed to defend it in the rematch when the time came. Currently in a seemingly everlasting feud with her former best friend Bayley, the boss appears to be bogged down for the time being, but is actually one of the best wrestlers on the roster. Having taken several bumps which appeared to be extremely serious and emerged from them unscathed, Sasha will continue her path and hopefully rise among the ranks of the women on the roster. Another former member of the WWE 4 Horsewomen, Becky Lynch, is one of the most underutilized and underrated women of the current WWE roster. She was the first ever SmackDown Live champion, but ever since she lost the championship, her luck has spiraled, with her losing a number of matches. Though she is definitely far from a losing streak, Lynch has not been in her best at these recent times and will need to do a lot to regain the momentum that she once had. With a whole new roster full of wrestlers after the Superstar shakeup, it will be up to Lynch to make sure that she is able to come back and win more matches and perhaps even get into title contention. Currently, she earns $250,000. One of the most experienced women on the roster, Mickie James, has been around since the time of Trish Stratus as a veteran women's wrestler and also being extremely skilled in the ring. Her contract with WWE offers her a total of $300,000 a year. Another example of not being booked in the best time recently, Mickie has not really made a name for herself in the new generation. Despite putting on good matches, her best contribution came from being the lackey of Alexa Bliss. She made a return to WWE as a masked figure who helped Alexa win the title, and after some time they fell apart. However, recently Mickie is back on good terms with Alexa and even helped her in a feud with Nia Jax, assisting her at every turn. Another veteran wrestler, Natalia, is perhaps the most technically gifted of all the women currently contracted to WWE. Coming from the talented and famous Hart family, Natalia is the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. She currently earns a total of $300,000 a year, although this came along with having an embarrassing run in WWE before the start of the women's revolution. She has since found her footing and has become an integral part of whichever roster she belongs to. She was able to win the SmackDown Women's Championship before unfortunately losing to Charlotte Flair in what was an incredible match, but since then she has not lost momentum. Winning the championship seemed to fuel her with new and previously untapped energy, making her one of the most entertaining women on the roster. She is currently on the Raw brand after the Superstar shakeup and appears to have turned babyface. WWE has now incorporated her into a storyline with Ronda Rousey, whom she helped train. Another woman earning $300,000 is one half of the Bella twins, Brie Bella. She is contracted to WWE on a non-wrestling basis as an ambassador and also takes part in the reality show Total Bellas. She acts as a main force in talent relations and is married to Daniel Bryan and gave birth to a beautiful daughter. She last appeared in the ring for WWE at the first ever Women's Royal Rumble alongside her sister Nikki, who would eliminate her from the match. Would you like to see Brie Bella in a WWE ring again? Let me know in the comments. Paige is one of the best known women on the WWE roster, although for many wrong reasons. She started her run in the WWE what seemed like a promising career and earned the Divas title surprisingly fast. Coming from a family of wrestlers, Paige was expected to make a mark in the WWE, and that she did, with excellent performances inside the ring at the beginning. Things would change for her after the brand split when she entered a romantic relationship with Alberto Del Rio. WWE did not look favorably upon this relationship, and soon after, both stars were suspended after they had violated the wellness policy. Paige was in recovery from a neck injury at the time, and following a second violation of the wellness policy, it seemed as though it would only be a matter of time before WWE would end up letting her go. Alberto, meanwhile, had left WWE and the two had become engaged. Also, to make matters worse at this time, personal photos and videos of Paige surfaced on the internet thanks to hackers, which caused her reputation further harm. Finally, things seemed to be going alright for her when she broke up with Alberto Del Rio and returned to WWE, making her return to the ring as the leader of Absolution. Unfortunately, it was not to be, following an injury she suffered at a house show. The doctors diagnosed Paige with a condition which meant she would never be able to wrestle again. After months of coming out with Absolution in a non-wrestling role, she announced her retirement from wrestling the night after Mania, and would soon after, the very next night, become the new SmackDown Live general manager. She currently earns $350,000 a year. Another former wrestler who is currently associated with WWE in a non-wrestling role, Nikki Bella earns $350,000 a year as well. One of the most famous women in the WWE, she has branched out since suffering a neck injury. Her injury meant that she would no longer be able to wrestle in a full-time capacity, and instead she spent her time with her sister in opening their own line of products. She appeared at Mania 33 alongside her then boyfriend John Cena. The two faced The Miz and Maurice and lost the match, but after, she was proposed to by Cena. The proposal has not aged well in hindsight, as recently the two have broken things off right before their marriage, as the nature of the relationship was not going in the way that they both intended on. Nikki last appeared in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, where she was able to last until the very end before being eliminated by the eventual winner Asuka. Alexa Bliss has been one of the most successful women ever since she has made her jump to the main roster, earning a massive $350,000 a year. She has won both the Raw and SmackDown women's titles twice, and has shown her capability in the ring by facing off against all sorts of opponents and holding her own despite her comparatively smaller size. Currently, she is involved in a feud with her former best friend Nia Jax, who was able to defeat her at WrestleMania to win her Raw Women's Championship. Possibly the most accomplished woman on the current roster, Charlotte Flair has all the charm and grace of her father and more. One of WWE's top regular competitors, she has been associated with the women's revolution at every level. She earns the second highest amount of any woman wrestler in the WWE at $550,000. From being one half of the two women to ever main event a pay-per-view, to taking part in a Hell in a Cell match, and also being the one to finally beat Asuka and end her streak at WrestleMania. It is definitely so that she is at the top of the women's division, or at least she was until the arrival of the final woman on this list. The number one name on this list was a foregone conclusion ever since her arrival to WWE. Despite all the talk on TV of having a regular full-time contract, Rousey earns more than every other woman on the roster by far. She made her name in UFC after going undefeated at 12-0. Unfortunately, this was followed by 2 defeats, after which she made the jump from UFC to the world of pro wrestling in WWE. She has been successful so far in her first match, where she teamed up with Kurt Angle to defeat Stephanie McMahon at Triple H. She then seemingly broke a part of Stephanie's arm on the following night on Raw, and that story is set to develop. With all this in mind, it's not a surprise that she makes a whopping $1.5 million. Currently, she is entangled in a storyline with Natalia, which has seen her protect her former mentor from attacks by Absolution and Mickie James. And these were the 10 highest paid female wrestlers of 2018. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling Hub, and I will see you later with more wrestling videos.